We're talking about what to do with your 401k when you retire. First segment, we talked about leaving it in the employer-sponsored plan. Now we're going to talk about rolling it into an IRA. Let's talk about the basics of what that is.
Yeah, so this is an individualized retirement account, and that's something that you would open up with a custodian like Schwab or Fidelity, and then you can roll the balance that you have in your 401k into that IRA. Then it's under your control, it's in your name, and at that point you can get a little more strategic with some of those investment decisions.
And you can not only do that when you retire. With a lot of plans, you could do that prior to retirement. A lot of times it is age 59 and a half.
A lot of 401k plans now do offer, once you obtain the age of 59 and a half, to do what they call is an in-service withdrawal or in-service rollover, which means even though you're still working with that employer, you're even still contributing to that retirement account, the 401k account. You can take the balance and move it to your IRA, not have to pay taxes on it if you do it the right way, and then it's underneath your name, your control, underneath the IRA.
Okay, so let's talk about, let's say you are retiring, you've got this 401k, you want to turn it into your retirement plan. So you talk with a trusted professional about rolling it, but there are a lot of rules that you want to make sure, whether you're doing it yourself or working with someone, they know these rules.
Yeah, and one of the biggest rules you do want to pay attention to is once that money is underneath the IRA, you cannot take a distribution from that IRA in most cases. There's a couple exceptions, but in most cases until you obtain the age 59 and a half. So in the last segment, we talked about the exception underneath the 401k plan, where you can, once you're above age 55, move it out before 59 and a half. That does not exist with the IRA. So you do want to be cognizant of that rule, because if you need access to that money prior to the age 59 and a half, the IRA may not be the best place for that money.
And it's important for people to know about the difference between direct and indirect rollovers too?
Yeah, there's two different ways that you can move money from a 401k plan to an IRA. One is a direct rollover, which is the most preferred way, because based on federal law, you can do as many direct rollovers as you want to at any point in time. Now, some 401k plans do restrict you, but federal law, you can do as many as you want. There's no taxes when you do that. There's no tax withholding, and it's just the most flexible way to do it. An indirect rollover, which is where you receive the money first, and then within the next 60 days, you have to move it to the IRA. There's tax withholding, mandatory at 20%. So to get the entire balance into the IRA, you actually have to pay out of your pocket to make that up. And the IRS says, the federal law says that you can only do one of those, an indirect rollover, every 12 months. And this is where many people do fall into that trap, because it's hard to distinguish between the two types. You do one indirect rollover, and then 6 months later you do another one, and it can cost you in penalties by doing that. So the direct rollover is the preferred method in most cases.
And I'm sure some of the viewers at home are like, I don't want penalties, I don't want to do this wrong, I don't want to mess this up. Well, the good news is if you're working with someone, this is the kind of stuff, Clint, that you and the retirement planners take care of on the behalf of the individuals and families we serve.
Yeah, and our team is great at helping families, even if they've got not just their most recent 401k. It's not uncommon that individuals have changed where they work. They've got an old 401k from here, an old 401k for there. One recent in the last 6 months, we worked with a family, and a particular individual, she had 9 different 401ks.
Wow.
And each one of them was relatively small over about a 20-year stretch, and our team helped track all of those down and get those all pulled together into one IRA, and that really brought them a lot of comfort. Now they can feel like, hey, this is a lot more simple, concise, easy to understand, rather than, hey, I know I've got all these different accounts all over the place. I don't know how I could ever make sure that they're all working together to help me achieve my retirement goals.
Yeah, what a difference receiving 9 different account statements versus 1. And then also at RMD age, so for most people that's age 73 or 75, you're mandated with the 401k account to take a required distribution from each one of those. So if she would have left it, she would have had 9 different required distributions as opposed to the IRA. Now she just has 1. So simplicity is a really big benefit with this consolidation effort as well.
Okay, so whether you decide to roll it over at 59 and a half or roll it over when you get ready to retire 63, 64, 65, let's just say you've got it into the IRA and you're feeling good about that. What are the advantages of having it there versus being in the employer plan?
One of the biggest advantages is just more investment options. So once it's in that IRA, you have the entire array of the market to choose from for investment options. Rather than just those limited options in your 401k, you might have 15 to 20 different mutual funds. Now we can get more efficient and more strategic with how much risk we're taking across your different, your 401k, your IRA at this point.
And Loren, I heard you say RMDs. Of course, that's something you could talk about for a very long time, but those are those forced distributions. When you're in the IRA versus the 401k, do you have some more control over, I'm thinking RMDs or even taxes in retirement?
You have a little bit more control over when you pay the tax from the IRA, because from the 401k plan, the employer-sponsored plan, there is a mandatory 20% federal tax withholding, and if you're in a state that requires tax, a mandatory state tax withholding as well. So that doesn't determine what your tax bill is, it just determines you have to at least pay that right up front. With the IRA, you can choose to withhold 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%. You can choose to withhold whatever you want to, including zero. So it gives you more flexibility and control on your tax plan from the IRA as well. So a lot of these planning, the theme with a lot of these planning elements is you have control, you have more flexibility, and it all works really well in building out your retirement plan, because ultimately this is your retirement, it's your retirement resources. You want as much control and as much flexibility as you can get.